Energise their sites, and collectively they energise the whole of Wellington. That's because they're great art and because they have technology embedded in them. The artists are always trying out new materials or stretching the limits of existing materials. The first kinetic sculpture we did had 1,600 rods up to 6 metres high. We had to scour the country to find a manufacturer that would make them bend sufficiently in the wind yet move back to upright when they were still. An outfit, Poltron and Gisborne, was able to make a complex rod of carbon fibre resin that does the job just to a T. The second of the sculptures, the one just mentioned, Zephyrometer. The artist submitted it at 13 metres high. We suggested he double it. It ended up at 33 metres. He made the pole himself with a wooden tapering frame, layering fiberglass on the outside. The joints that it pivots on are very sophisticated engineering that enable it to move in whatever direction the wind might dictate. Our third one generates light. It has a device in it where the speed of the wind determines the number of neon rings that will light up. There are rotors at the top, and the speed of their rotation tells you whether 1 or 2 rods at the bottom or more as the wind strengthens, or the whole 9 of the rings will light up and illuminate when there's a gale blowing. Well, the fourth in that series defies physics. We had to make cubes that spin while they're on spindles. That problem has been solved overseas by asymmetrically concaving the surface of the cubes, but our artist insisted they remain dead flat. An engineering firm in Lower Hutt devised the answer, which was to perforate the cubes, and the impact of the wind on the complete parts and the perforated parts gave sufficient differential to spin them. Well, we had sculptures then that bent, pivoted, made light and spun. The fifth and final one we wanted to make sound, and the eminent sound artist Phil Dadson provided us with akutangi, the sighing sound of the wind. The 10 poles march out of Evans Bay, and the cones at the top are absolutely remarkable in their engineering. They spin, they move direction with the wind, they create light, and they make a keening sound. Another moving sculpture is put up in Botanic Gardens. The artist had a huge job making a tremendous coiled funnel that dominates it. It required the heaviest lift twin rotor helicopter to be found in New Zealand to bring it on site. At the top of the poles, there's a gyroscopic type device that enables the funnel to shift in the wind or when it is pushed. Protoplasm down in the city, 4 discs with very sophisticated joints and bearings linking them, enabling them to move separately or all together, but never in unison. And they move at the slightest breath of wind. It's amazing how many viewers of that artwork come to us and say they can't believe it is wind activated. It must have some internal mechanism in it, but it doesn't. Water Whirler down on the harbour is the most technologically sophisticated work we have ever commissioned and is probably unmatched in the world. It took 5 years of R&D to get it ready for installation. The springs there move it in different axes in any directions. There are motors inside it which pump the water up the pole and out the nozzles and rotate the pole so that you get those fabulous patterns of the water spraying around. Some of our non-kinetic sculptures also energise and have high tech. Sky Blues had 2 huge challenges that took years to resolve. The tapering steel poles, 7 of them, 11 metres high, was one of them, and they ended up having to be segmented. Making the 21 neon squiggles affixed to the top of the poles was also a huge challenge for New Zealand's best neon benders. Another still is Spinning Top, which challenged the best New Zealand stainless steel manufacturers used to making milk tankers, but in the end they did it and got the pieces around. So enjoy them all, that's great.